He's known as the $100 million man. Please welcome from Atlanta, Georgia. This dude has built an agency doing $200 million a year. Please welcome John Wetmore.
What up, y'all? So you know my favorite thing about this business is that I know people at every company selling every product, using all different styles of acquiring clients, telesales, field sales, one call closes, booking appointments, Medicare, you name it. I know someone rich doing all of them. Does that make sense? And at every one of your companies, wherever you work, there's someone rich there doing what you do, right? And I was listening to this podcast. I was out running. Anybody ever done 75 hard? All right, I'm in the middle of it now. And so I got up early because I couldn't sleep because time zone thing. And I did my first one at 6. And then we had our little meet and greet here. And I looked and I had an hour and like 2 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to get in my 45 minutes now. So some of y'all saw I came in the thing afterwards, half sweating. And I was outside running. I ran like 3 miles earlier. And I was listening to, any of y'all listen to Ed Milet's podcast? You know, one of my favorites. And a lot of people don't know he comes from insurance background. A lot of his wealth originally started there. Built a big agency. I was listening to him interview a guy he was like a WWE star. And I don't even know his name. I just like listening to the dude's podcast. And Titus, I don't even know his name. Who is it? There you go. I don't watch wrestling, so I have no idea. But he sounded amazing. And he's interviewing this dude, and this dude's been through a lot of stuff in his life. He was born to like a 12-year-old. His mom was like 12 when she had him. And so he had a hard life. He was supposed to make it to the NFL, was his plans. Injury, didn't make it. Made it to WWE, whatever. Had some things. Eventually that capped out, and he had to, eventually leave that as well. And he kept hitting like levels of success and then hitting failure. And levels of success and hitting failure. And he had 3 major things in his life that he was talking about. And Ed asked him, like, how do you get through that stuff mentally? Like, how do you go about it? And he talked a lot about his faith and things he learned. And I'm not the best at quoting stuff, so I'm going to do my best to say what he said. But I liked his message. And he was like, for me, I have a lot of faith, right? And he was explaining that his discipline with belief in his faith and what God's telling him to do, and the place that he gets placed in life at the moment, right? And where it leads him. And he said, he made a comment and he said, there's a lot of believers, but not a lot of people have faith. All right? And Ed goes, wait, what do you mean by that? And he goes, there's a lot of people who believe in whatever y'all believe in, right? And he goes, they show up on Sunday and they believe in it for an hour and a half. And then they go through hard times in life and their own emotions get in the way. And they start thinking for themselves. And they don't think they're placed in the spot they're placed on purpose. They stop with their faith and maybe they're a believer for the moment. But outside of that moment, y'all all know it. Hell, some of us are that person. You know what I mean? It's like in church, I think different than when I leave church a lot. Some of us are that way. And he goes, but with faith, I have obedience to what God's telling me to do. Right? No matter what I think the plan is, I follow what he's telling me to do. And I was just thinking about this business in a lot of ways. Like, y'all know none of us that have been up here or spoken today or doing anything good, or any of the rich people you know in your industry that are doing well, none of us have like created anything new, right? In terms of sales, technique, communication, how to close people. Y'all understand that, right? We have discipline and obedience with what's worked in the industry, and we're following other people. If anyone comes up here and says they invented, they're lying to you. We're a copycat of other people who have taught us things. Maybe we put our own spin on it. Sure. You can have your own personality. Sure. Right? You can add things to it. You can be more efficient. You can have systems, right? Build an agency. It's more than just that. But at the end of the day, it's like, do y'all really not know what to do to get to the next level from where you're at now? Like, you really have no idea what to do next? Or has someone said, like, hey, here's the steps for you to go from here to here, And you're just choosing to not be obedient to that message and follow what works for someone else. Now, if it's some dipshit, don't listen to him. But if it's a guy who's doing well, you know what I mean? Like, they probably can give you the path. And a lot of times when you hear people speak or train or talk to you, you can certainly tell if they know what they're doing or not. Fair? Yep. And sometimes it's hard in this industry. Like when I was new, man, it was a lot easier for me to listen to people that I felt comfortable talking to. You know, if I wanted to be negative about something or blame something, it was very easy for me to go to someone else mediocre and complain because they would validate my feelings. Fair? But if I went to someone who like really knew what to do, they would challenge my thought process. Be like, yo, what? Like, why are you, like the first time I made a big change, and some of that, I'm kind of skipping telling the story today because I get bored telling my own story and some of y'all know it. But the biggest change, the period of change in my career as an individual sales rep, I had a financial situation in life. I've been through all kinds of crazy stuff, divorce and bankrupt and cars taken away and houses taken away. And I've been through stuff. And I talk about it to relate, but like everyone in here has been through stuff. Fair? Like everyone has stuff. So can we just take it off the table? Like it is what it is. You're going to have to get through it. Fair? Right? But for me, sometimes those things make y'all collapse. And for some of us, they fuel us. You know? And some of y'all accept where you're at. And just go like, who was saying the I am thing earlier? I don't remember who said that. But that was pretty dope. Who was that? Was that Jalen? It was? Yeah. He was good today, dude. He was one of my favorites. But like you start to say words to yourself like that. You know what I mean? This industry. Someone asked me once recently, I was doing a recruiting call and the dude was in Utah and he says, do you think they like life insurance in Utah? I was like, what? Do you think there's a line, like a state line that dictate like, and it's kind of funny, but it's like sometimes some of the questions I hear from everyday people, and I had the same problem. The questions we ask or the things we're seeking are like, a lot of times we're trying to validate the reasons why we're not having success. And I've never had anyone show me that the plan isn't already there in some form or fashion to get you a little further ahead than you are today. You know? And certainly I try to be really honest with people about the process of this thing. Like I get a lot of credit for the volume we do, but I have a lot of help. And I can teach people all kinds of stuff, go from point A to point B, but we fly blind every day because I don't know how to get to 300 million. I have no idea how to do it yet. I ain't figured that out. And there's less and less people as you move up that can actually help you get to the next spot. You know, so some of y'all are like, I feel like you think eventually the feeling of like, I don't know what to do next exactly, or the struggle, or it's hard. I feel like some of y'all think that goes away one day. Do you know when it goes away? Literally never. Ever, 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 ever. So then the question is, are you someone that gets through hard things? Are you someone that takes problems and turns them into opportunities? Right? Or do you let problems and hard things stop you in your tracks? And you just got to decide who you are as a person. And so for me, I've had to make a lot of changes in my life. Just upbringing, whatever. I can naturally be pretty negative. So I have to battle that every day, literally every day. I was in a parking lot the other day, a couple weeks ago. And you know when you drive in front of a grocery store, they have little speed bumps to make you slow down so people can cross and get to their spot, right? So I'm going to eat at this little smoothie place and it's over there. And the front door's right there. I'm rolling in the parking lot to cut through. And this guy starts coming out. I'm letting him cross, like no big deal. And he's like, maybe from me to Jalen. But I'm not stopped. I'm like slow rolling, like super slow. And the guy looks at me and he starts doing something with his hand. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? I'm like, nowhere near you, bro. And he go a little bit further. He's like, mumbling, mouth is moving. And I'm like starting to like boil inside a little bit. So I'm like, bro, I'm like 48 feet from you, dude. Relax. I am not going to run you over. And the closer I get, the more he's making motions and hands. And I'm like, yo, I'm ready to fight this guy. Like, what is happening? So I roll down my window and I look out the right. And he goes, bro, I love your car. I'm about to leave. Do you want my parking spot? I was like, I start out negative by thought. That's my default. Right? And so every day in life, I have to pay attention to work on my weaknesses. And so the things y'all struggle with, maybe you can get better at them, sure. But I don't know. I like being the direct one that's going to tell you, you better get good at getting through hard stuff if you expect to win. I was looking at something the other day. Actually, I was looking this morning. The top 1% of income earners, roughly around 700 grand. But like 100 grand, I think it was like only like 20 something percent of people make that. It's like not a lot. That's not a big number. It's like even a small percentage. And getting to that point in our industry, like, is anyone confused? Is anyone actually confused? And I don't mind helping because I got 10 minutes and I didn't prep anything. I'm just talking. Does anyone like actually still confused at the end of the day on what you need to do next? Or can I help in any way with like, I need help here? Because I like to just help people win, you know? So if you have something and someone's not afraid or wants to ask something, please do. Because I would love to actually help someone figure out how to win. Go ahead.
Not that I need a lot of help, but mindset, raising kids, I know you have.
Yeah.
So you gotta flip a switch, and that can be troublesome sometimes, you know.
What do you mean flip a switch? What does that mean?
From being parent to producing, you know, like you have parental things on your mind, but you also gotta produce, right?
Sure.
So I don't know if you.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's like, why do you have to go on and off in your head? And it's not a wrong. I'm just curious. I don't understand it fully yet. I want to make sure I understand. Yeah.
For me,
I mean, did y'all hear him?
Yeah.
How do you go from parenting to producing? Kind of flip on and off?
For me, it's more like the business is always on my mind, so I can't shut it off.
Yeah.
Because there's always somebody to call. There's always
Sure.
always popping the phone. But that's one thing that
Yeah.
I struggle with. It's like you can go in
Yeah.
there and make it sell.
When you said you don't need a ton of help, are you like killing it in the space yet? Like where are you at? If you don't mind sharing.
I've submitted 36,000 so far this month.
Hell yeah. That doesn't suck.
Right.
36K for the month. No one's clapping for you. It's weird. What's your name? B. Schwartz. Billy?
Bodie.
Bodie. Got it. Cool. How old are the kids?
Marcus is 6, Montes is 3. So
6 and 3. Okay. Cool. Did you produce a lot last year?
just 235.
Just 235. My man. I like you. I agree it is just 235 in our space.
Right.
Right? But most people should be excited for you. And it's not a bad thing. You should be excited. But for me, it's like the ceiling's way up there. You know, when I figured out how to run this the right way, I mean, I went from like mediocre, hit 100 grand for the first time. And then I went 500, 750, million and a half, 2 million. You know what I mean? The income went nuts. So for me, I can just tell you for me, I remember having a lot of guilt, right? I had 5 kids. When I started in the business, Maddox was 9 months old. And I had my first kid at 16. So my oldest today is 30. And I was like, when Jalen somehow just found that out, somehow he didn't hear the story before, right? And I'm like, dude, I think my oldest is older than you, bro. And I found he's 28. So, but I was 16 when I had my first one. And then I just kept having them. And I thought it was a solution to a bad marriage. So I just kept having babies because I freaking love babies. And it was cool, but it didn't help the marriage. And it made the child support and the alimony really bad. Hence the change, which I'll come back to in a second. Right, so for me, what I learned, man, is like for me, I'm a provider. That's what gets me up every day. That's why I keep doing this. I could definitely stay home today. But I'm a provider, not only for me, for my kids, for my wife, for my family. I have staff. My assistant Amanda, she's been with me 8 years. Crazy. She's got twins. And I'm like, because of the work I do, she gets to provide for her family different. Reese gets to provide for his family. We have, six people in the office now? And because of the things I do, it helps them provide for their families. That's what drives me. Doing this for y'all helps y'all provide for your family. And I mostly care about the kids. I love you all, but it's the kids that I really don't care about, I just have no sympathy when adults won't go to work for their children. I don't understand it. But what I do know is early on, dude, for me, when I was not putting in the full effort that I needed to put in, that I knew I needed to put in. I knew I wasn't doing everything it took, bro. I had guilt when I was with my kids because I was trying to balance both, right? When I changed and I understood my schedule and the discipline I needed to have, and I set my life up with very intentional structure, my life is run by my calendar, like to a T. Every minute of every day, I got something booked. Even if it's like time to go to the gym. Dude, my morning's like 3 hours. I'm chill. I'm working out, I'm going to the gym, I go to the sauna, steam room. I'm like, I have a routine. I don't like to break it. But early on, dude, I just kind of, when I got around to calling someone, I called someone. If the phone rang, the phone rang. You know what I mean? It was like I was kind of dipping my toe in, if you will. And I don't know if you feel that, if you feel like you should be doing more. I don't know the answer, but for me, I felt a lot of guilt then. What changed in 2015 was the alimony thing, and a person challenged me because I was complaining about it, right? I had an extra $1,000 a month bill that came into my life, and I wasn't doing really well. And I like, if this were the table, I would have thrown it out the window and flipped it and knocked all the stuff. Like I was that angry type person at this stage of my life. And I literally lost my mind in the office. And I explained why. I was like, $1,000 a month. Oh my God, it's the end of the world, right? And I don't know if anyone's there. Like if I had a $1,000 a month bill to your life right now, would it affect you? Would you notice? Would you feel it? Right? And he came in and he goes, bro, you've been in the industry like 3 years now. Are you really losing your mind over one client a month, bro? And he walked away. Right? But like, y'all find it funny, but then think about all the debt you got, and the bills that you're behind on, and the car you want that you don't have, and the house that you want for your family that you don't, and the money you want to donate to church that you can't. A lot of stuff's on your client away. You know what I mean? And so for me, dude, when I had that switch, and it was a culmination of a lot of things, but the short version is I changed the way I do my life. And so I felt very comfortable then when I am not in business, although I never stopped thinking about it. I don't know how to make it go away. I find it weird that some people don't think about business ever. I don't feel guilty when I'm with my children though. And I can turn my shit off and focus on them. Does that make sense? But that took time, dude. I had to have belief in myself and confidence that I was doing everything it took. You know, and I don't know if that's you. So I don't know how to answer it for you because I don't know you from a hole in the wall. Right? But I know when I wasn't doing what it took for my family, bro, Christmas, I'd go home, visit family in Boston, and bro, all I remember is me thinking about the bill. Like, I don't remember the time with my family at all. I remember the feeling of not being able to pay for Christmas. I remember the feeling of thinking of all the clients I didn't call this week, and the lead bill that was coming up, and you know what I mean? Like, the stuff. Because I wasn't doing what it took, you know? And I just decided that I was going to be a different person. And that's the beauty of this thing. Someone else said that earlier too. You can turn that on right now. You know, and for me, I always like to challenge myself, man. I like doing hard things. I am someone that does hard things all the time. If any of y'all follow me, I do all kinds of crazy shit like runs and hikes and nutty stuff. I'm signed up to this 3 marathons in 3 days in July. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's a marathon every day. And it's not just a marathon. It's like on a trail in a mountain. And so you go up like 8,000 feet in elevation during it. It's like nuts. And I'm not a runner. I actually hate running. It's my least favorite thing I do ever. But I like the challenge of doing hard things that most people won't do. You know, my favorite thing about this industry is aside from the opportunity is, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but it's really easy to outwork most of y'all. This industry is really easy to outwork most agents. And all I've done is just keep going while most of y'all slow down or quit. You know what I mean? And so I believed in the opportunity. And I assume you all believe in the opportunity and understand that the money is in insurance. I don't think anyone's confused about that. So the question is, why do you not believe in yourself enough to go get it? I mean, so like, why not? Like, why not you? It doesn't have to be just me and the other guys up here. Y'all get that, right? But I bet if you sit down and look at it, the piece you have to remember is like, y'all know we are in sales. And I know people with leads are like, it's not sales, it's order taking. You're in sales for a living. You're 1099 independent contractors. Most of you, I know there's some W-2 captive people probably, but for the most part, and I'm not convinced W-2's not independent and self-employed either, because they ain't fired tomorrow if you don't perform, right? I'm just a true believer that we're all self-employed in some aspect. And are you doing everything it takes to make sales? How do we make sales? How do you get to a sale? You're not making sales unless you make presentations. And you aren't making presentations unless you're prospecting. It's fair? I don't care how you prospect. You don't have to buy leads. Brian gave you a badass way. You go out that door right there, front. You know how many people are out that door? Open the front door. How many people are outside that door that you can sell to? Like 300 something million, I think is the number. Those are leads. And you're in sales. And most people sit around frustrated about where they're at in their situation and in life, and they complain they don't have money or they don't have this or they don't have whatever. I'm like, you don't need money to make money. I hate that saying. You don't need money to make money. I come from the hood, dude. They sell CDs out of the back of the trunk to make money. I'm like, this is the same to me. When I learned that, all I gotta do is go hustle and see people and make $1,000 or $1,500 a pop. I was like, oh, this game's different. I wish they explained it this way to begin with. I thought I had to learn all this fancy stuff. Like half the country doesn't have insurance. And I don't know the stats on all the health stuff, but I know they need it. And that never goes away. So y'all just maybe look at this thing a little bit differently. And I wish more of y'all would believe in yourselves as much as we believe in you. The people that hired you, brought you into the business, come here and train you, Cody, like, you know how many people believe that you have the ability to win? The industry works. But will you be obedient to what works and follow the path and go get yours? Does that make sense? I think I'm supposed to give y'all stuff. So if you scan that sucker, or you just go to johnwetmore.com, is it the resources? johnwetmore.com/resources. That's where that takes you. It's an exercise I've done with a zillion agents over the years. It helps you map out your goals in your schedule. And I'm like a numbers nerd because I used to be an accountant. And so I have like a nerdy activity tracker in there that'll, if you actually use it, will tell you how little or how much you're actually working on the things that matter most in the business. Does that make sense? Appreciate y'all. Hope you had a killer day. If I can do anything to help, please let me know. Appreciate it.
Get effing paid.
Get effing paid.
Get effing paid.
Get effing paid.
What up, guys? If you guys are looking to get to a new level in your career, you may have seen that we've been running some workshops in my office in Atlanta. I have them every quarter now. The last one sold out fully. It was a massive success. A couple different levels. You can attend just a general ticket, get you in the door, listen to 2 days of training, interactive, workshop style. We really dive into what you got going on and how to get to new levels. If you're looking to be in a new crowd, higher level up, I have a private mastermind. Last one was at my house. It was insane. All the value that everybody added to each other, and we had a good time. And I heard it was way underpriced relative to what people got out of it. You can check out some of the testimonials here, I'm sure. But if you'd like to attend, click the link below. I do them every quarter. The date will be around here somewhere. Look forward to seeing you there.
If you are in the insurance industry and you're looking to scale and grow your business, I highly encourage you to check John Wetmore out.
Probably honestly made the cost of the event back in like the first 2 hours of being here.
If you want to win and you want to grow, I would get around John as much as you can.
John Wetmore is a beast.
So much value in everything that I've learned here.
Growing, about building, delegating. He's talking about systems and automating right now.
It is worth the price of admission. Make sure you get to the next one.
I always use an example when I was coming to Utah to sell. I used to fly from Atlanta to Utah to sell mortgage protection leads. And I'd come in on Sunday and sell like Salt Lake City Monday through Thursday, drive down to St. George on Friday. Friday night, I drive to Vegas and red-eye home to Atlanta. And while I was out here, I was always interviewing people. I'd run ads out here, talk to people, whatever. And I met this guy, Jesse, one night, and I talked to him about the opportunity. And you ever interview that guy that's like been the best sales guy at every position he's ever had, and he's gonna kill it for you, and I'm gonna crush it, and it was that guy. So, all good. I'm like, at this point, I've heard it a million times. Great, whatever. Hey, who else do you know? You know what I mean? I talked about that. Hey, do you know anybody else? He's like, yeah, I know this person in, what was that dude's name in Texas, Amanda? Alan? Alan in Texas. He's like, yeah, I know this dude Alan in Texas. I'm like, all right. Talk to Alan in Texas. Same thing. Jesse getting started, send him to Amanda. Alan, hey, who do you know? He sends me to Jackie in Missouri. Talk to Jackie in Missouri. Hey, who do you know? Boyfriend James wants to get in. James and Jackie, within 6 months, were doing 150 grand a month as a team. They've sold, I don't know, $10 million worth of insurance in their group in 9 years. That's been. Jesse never got contracted. He never did one thing ever. Does that make sense? And Alan sold like 4 policies and quit. Does that make sense? So for me, everyone was a conduit. So every client I speak to, hey, do you happen to know, we're busy as crap, people requesting whatever you sit with. I don't care what you say. Sure. Hey, we get a ton of requests, just like you. Do you know anybody else looking to make extra money that can do what I just did for you? And again, you ask 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 clients a week, great, but I teach all of them to do it. It adds up. And then social. I hit people up on social all the time, dude. LinkedIn, you can search title, name, company, mortgage protection, final expense, Medicaid. You can search anything you want. Friend them, whatever you call them on LinkedIn, connect with them, whatever it is. You can then, I would just DM them. Hey, dude, see you in the business. Are you open to having a conversation about making X amount or doing whatever? Super simple. Yeah. But I did 100 a day, dude. And I just taught everyone to do that. And those 3 things led to our agency exploding because they were all free. Does that make sense? And I can give you stories on all 3 that led to people who are with us today and have pushed tens of millions of dollars of insurance. You know? And so I always say start there. Because I've learned if you aren't willing to do those things free, you're never going to do the paid stuff.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense? Because you can literally pay, I can get you 1,000 people tomorrow if you're willing to pay for it. Like, honestly, super easy. Yeah. Because everyone's online looking for opportunities. You know what I mean? It's run an ad, pick a platform, run an ad, pay for it, turn up that ad spend, and you'll get people. But the model of like using them to get me in front of others, that's what blew us up. Our whole agency is built from the warm market with my cold market.
Yes.
I would say for me the biggest, I'll give you an example, and not everything I did was perfect. So Amanda runs my operation. She's been with me almost 8 years. When I hired her, I had no staff before this. I was selling 40 grand a month, and I had probably 40 or 50 agents selling monthly before I hired her. Right, so I managed all that myself. And the reason I was able to do that is because, one, I sold enough that I could fund everything on my own pay. You sell 30, 40 grand a month, everything's different than selling 6, 10, 12, 15, 20. It's a very different world. You buying leads? Yours referral, but do they buy leads?
No. So mine is referral because I built a few different networks with tax attorneys. So what I do as like the FMO owner, right? I set up mostly Hispanic market. So what we do is we set up swap meets here, Phoenix, swap meet location, Los Angeles, and I go over there about once or twice a month, and I go and I'm on the floor with them. I'm showing them how to prospect. We have our own prospecting system for tax offices here. We have a referral system, and that's what kind of fuels mine. So that's basically
how duplicatable do you think that is?
I would say that's my main focus.
I wanted to do. I wanted to be insanely duplicatable. Like I wanted to be able to take that dude and get him making sales tomorrow. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And my question is, can you do that with what you? Can you teach me to do what you did tomorrow in Atlanta?
No, right now, no.
So for me, I wanted duplicatable. It was just a decision. Not that it doesn't work, but I wanted the most duplicatable things. First, I'll give you a couple examples. A lot of people talk about hiring someone else to dial for you, which I ain't mad at. But is that as duplicatable as dialing yourself?
Right.
No, because most people can't afford or aren't willing to pay someone else to do it. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I could teach someone how to sell $3K a month, because I was fucking doing it. I buy leads, picking up the phone down. So whatever you do, meaning right now, if all you're individually producing is $6K, in my mind, is that all you can duplicate?
So that's when I'm like, the whole saying, you want to go far, go alone. You want to go, you're going to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. Then I started bringing family into it. It's like, okay, can you do this? And then I had to simplify it. And it's really So that's my process of replicating it, and that's why my production individually has gone down.
Yeah. So again, my question is, can you take him and get? If he's like, I want to make 150 grand next year. Can you teach him right now how to make 150 grand doing that?
Okay, that
And
makes
if you
sense.
can't, you need to figure that out.
Right. So
Otherwise-
individually, it would have to be like a mentorship one-on-one, and that's what at this stage I'm trying to avoid because I'd like to be where it's like
someone has to teach it.
right.
It doesn't necessarily have. Early, it was me. I don't teach a lot of it today, maybe at a high level, but I'm not getting Joe started in the field today, day one. Right? Why? Because I taught you to do it, you taught him to do it, and he taught him to do it. They know how to do that piece now. Early, I had to do that.
So the main focus should be on the fields. It's showing him how to replicate the production.
Why do people want to work with you, period?
In general, it's more than likely because the value system is going to be one family-based, which means that we don't disclose and like post all about commission.
If it's family-based and they make no money, are they going to want to work with you?
No.
Okay, so why do they want to work with you?
Well, yes, we show them how to make money.
You can help them make money.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense? So the quicker you can teach people to make money fast, the more stable your business will be. That make sense?
Yes.
This is great guys you are, family, all this stuff. They don't get paid, they're out.
Makes sense.
Make sense? So for me, I wanted to create a process that I could help people get paid fast. So in my world, if you came to me licensed, my goal was to help you get paid within a week. And if you came to me unlicensed, I could help you start getting paid in a month. Because you get through the process.
Right.
And I had everything in place. You follow step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You start getting paid next week, bro. And in today's world, it's even faster. The e-apps and electronic contracting, all the stuff. I'm talking back in the day, damn paper contracting. So today you can get someone paid. I mean, you come to me in a life space, I can get you making $5 grand a week next week. Today's Thursday. Does that make sense? So it's like, and if you can't, it's just going to be a slower build because no one's going to get excited about making $6 grand over. And I'm not to be offensive. I know the number, but it's like, how can you get people paid quick? You get them paid quick, and then you can teach them from there. All right, now that I got the money, how do I make more? If that's the system that you're doing with the events and things like that, cool. Maybe you have to supplement I don't know the exact. You know what I mean? It's a deeper conversation.
Yeah.
But what I do know is if that dude can't walk to you today and start getting paid next week, you ain't gonna find a lot of those dudes that are gonna want to stay with you.
That makes sense.
They need to get paid for their family. Me and you wanted to go build Chick-fil-A's all across the country. We want over 500 of them. And the only people we want to hire are people like me and you that also only want to go open Chick-fil-A franchises. How well would our business model work?
Yeah.
It wouldn't work at all. Right? Would it? Because I was only looking for me at the beginning. And I'm like, I still ain't found me. And not because I'm like, some days I'm like, thank God I didn't find another me.
That's true because
yeah. So it's like, sometimes I had to learn, and again, everyone can choose their own model because they all work. I know some people are like, I'm hiring 10 people and that's it, and they're going to be these people. It's going to take you longer to find those 10.
Right.
So for me, I chose that I wanted to adjust my range and my capability to work with different levels of people. You know what I'm saying? They go like, all right, let me tweak full system. Let me play. Automations, process, I have everything, dude. I have people that want to come to me and buy it. I'm like, cool, we have it. We had a dude who signed up to it a few weeks ago, and he paid his first one. We started working on the process with him, and everything we asked, we're like, hey, what do you do here? He's like, I don't know. Don't you build that? And every step, he didn't have he couldn't tell me what messages he sent to people when they got hired, or where the email you send when you want someone to get in class, or where to go for the training, or how to get on your call, or how to get in touch with your staff, whatever things you do. He didn't have those. And he's like, dude, that's what I'm coming to you for. I'm like, do you understand how automation works, bro? Insist on it. He's like, well, yeah, don't you build it? And I'm like, all right. And he kept using car references. I don't know what he was saying. He was using Lamborghinis, and his references were making no sense to me. And I'm like, all right, dude, just talk about cars. Let's go way back. What's his name? Henry Ford? Thomas Ford? Henry Ford? Henry Ford? He built the
Model T.
What's the thing he built next? The thing that takes the fucking machine. The assembly line.
Oh, that's right.
Right? Exactly. So he's famous because he built the assembly line. Why did he build the assembly line?
You increase productivity and efficiency.
Right? But he already knew how to build a car.
He had the car built, and then he went, yo, let me make this better. And then he started adding systems to put the fucking wheels on the car for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so you're somewhat trying to build the assembly line before you know how to build a car. Somewhat. I'm not saying fully because I don't know your process. But some people want to build the assembly line and they're like, we don't know what we're building it for you. And so for me, what we've done really well is everything that I do manually, everything that's a pain in the ass, everything that's repetitive, always sending this email or this message or this, I take that and I go, how do I automate that? What do I build a system for that piece? And I do one little piece at a time. And now today I get to look back over a decade and go, bro, we got a badass system. But I didn't build it one day. This had problem, I solved that problem. And a new problem, I solved that problem. And all along the way we did that. Now we have a whole system. You know what I mean? Where many people want to build the whole system first, but they've never done the steps. Volume took off, dude, when I started being able to teach people how to make money at a high level. And I learned how to teach it relatively easily.
And how long did it take you to get to that level where you felt comfortable enough where you could teach someone else to do it?
So I was recruiting before I knew what the hell I was doing.
Okay.
Because I felt comfort in the industry.
Right.
And the people that were helping me.
Okay.
You know, so I'm not one of these people that felt like I needed to be good before I started recruiting. Like the insurance industry is what it is.
Right.
Like I don't need validation from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can win without you.
Right.
So why does anyone need you? And they can win without me.
Exactly.
No one needs me either. Right? So I learned that the best promoters tend to win.
Okay.
And so I got really good at promoting things early. And my recruiting deal at the beginning was like, yo, this dude over here is helping me make a bunch of money. You interested in a conversation about making more money too? And I'll just use him.
Right.
Like he's teaching me.
Yeah, I started recruiting, so I'm not sure, did you start as a captive agent, as a brokerage? You were
always independent.
Okay,
Yeah.
Awesome. And then, so I started as a captive agent. Yeah. I'm an IMO now, but when I first started, I was recruiting people 2 months in, right?
Yeah, sure.
At my captive agency, did it for 7 months there, branched off, now I'm under an IMO, Heartland.
Yeah.
And I still got a couple guys under me, right? I'm trying to help them get to the level that I'm at.
What do you say?
So, December I did 45. This month, I've been kind of delegating my responsibilities to them, giving them my leads so they can learn a little bit better. And then I've been focused on other things, but like building my team and kind of like, you know what I mean? I'm still doing a little bit of production. I'm at like 22 right now.
Okay.
But I wanted to consistently grow my production month to month, while also,
What'd you issue
helping
last
them.
year?
So I've only been in this for a year.
Okay.
Cumulatively. So at where I was before at Globe Life, I wasn't doing great.
Yeah.
Second month, I hit VIP, but then their lead acquisition or their lead source was honestly just terrible. They were more referral based, but even like their current lead system just wasn't adequate enough to even gather referrals, right? And then it wasn't until what I'm doing now as a broker where I'm applying my own leads through advertisements, and then now I'm actually seeing results, right?
Yeah.
But I just kind of wanted to see how you're able to scale.
Yeah. So for me, I always had to eat first.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like I was never going to let other people affect my production.
Right.
Period. And you're young. You're a lot younger than I was when I started. I had 5 kids, dude. I'm like, yo, you ain't messing up my day.
Yeah.
So my production was super consistent. I didn't get to a point where I was doing what you're doing now. We were doing probably $500,000 a month before I made that decision.
Okay. Oh wow. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because I was like, all right, I'm selling 30. At this point, I scaled down a little bit. I went from 40, 50 to maybe 30. You know what I mean? I did 360 that year instead of 460 on my own bag. But we did,
So your first ever year you did 360?
No, my first ever year I sold no insurance because I quit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then...
So why'd you come back?
Because I hated my job. Yeah. And then my first... my first full-time year, I issued like 170. I made... I cracked 100. I netted probably 80. And then I did 460, 360, and I got out of the field.
Okay.
So for me, I wanted to stay consistent with the production so I could stack money and fund everything.
Yeah.
As you heard a lot about investing back in.
Yeah, that's all I do.
I wanted to teach the consistency. I also was taught, dude, that your best people are probably going to do half of what you do.
Does that make
I
sense?
want them to be better than me, but that doesn't always.
They're going to follow you, dude.
Yeah.
So meaning if you slow down to do something and you get them to build, what are you teaching?
Right.
You're teaching to lose focus on the.
You gotta lead by example.
You're teaching literally to move focus away from the main deal and focus on the side thing.
Right.
So what do you think they're going to do? They'll be like, oh no, why sell for you? I'm going to go build a CRM. I'm going to go do my only. I'm going to go do AB. You know what I mean? You're literally teaching it.
If you're in the insurance space and trying to build an agency, or you're trying to like break records in sales, just hit new levels, new heights, click the link below to apply to my consulting and coaching program that I have out there. I'm helping tons of people get to new levels, get to new income heights, help them build their teams, put systems in place, staffing stuff, recruiting processes, automations, and just teaching people how to get to a point where they're selling on their own pen, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. And if they're building a team, teaching how to have an effective structure to your insurance agency for the most profitability you can. There is an application process. I'm only looking to work with like high-end people who really want to make big things happen. A couple recent clients that we've had in the coaching program. One dude as an individual went from selling like 8 grand a month, barely getting by, about to quit the industry, found the book, hit me up direct, started a coaching program, went to 35K his first month, has issued like 150K in the last 90 days, and has changed the trajectory of his career. Working with another agency builder, very first month went from doing like 800 grand a month to almost 1.1 million. We added like 10 or 15% production in 30 days and continue to work on things there. So if you're interested, click the link, apply, and if you're a fit, I'll reach out. I wanted to be the person that they were wanting to be like and emulate and chase, and that was head down produce. And all the building stuff, system stuff, dude, I did that nights and weekends. I was up all night. I was on my computer. I built all that in addition. So
yeah.
I did both.
Right.
Now, was I busy? Yep. Was I on the phone a lot? Yep. Did I miss a lot of shit? Yep. I sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am now. Because
But today,
they kind of just look at, I'm building like the whole thing, right? The systems, the processes, the lead acquisition. I do it all. They kind of just feed off, right? They're using my leads that I provide for them. They're, you know, and it's great. You know, they're still learning, and I just wanted to, kind of pick your brain a little bit to see how are you training? How did you train your agents when you were first starting or when you were first building a team?
I was on the phone a lot, dude. And that's how my content, like, I don't know if you follow me, I get a decent following on social now. Mm-hmm. That all started from your question as I had so many people coming in. Dude, I'm like, I can't answer the phone all day anymore. Right. I'd be in an appointment and I'd miss 6 phone calls on one appointment.
Right.
I'm like, shit, I guess I got to get out of the field. And then I was out of the field, we started blowing up. And I'm like, I was on the phone all day, all night. Yeah. I mean, it started at 6 a.m. and it go to midnight because I got people all across the country. You know, and I'm like, well, hell, that can only, you hit a ceiling. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, you get a lot of the same questions. Right? They ask the same shit. Yeah. It's just like clients. There's only so many objections. They all ask the same crap. Yeah. Agents are the same way. Dude, they all say the same dumb shit. They all have the same questions, same objections, same fears, same thoughts. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all the questions I get, why don't I make a video on that? So I started making a video. I'm like, all right, let me make a video on this scenario. Mortgage protection, over 70. Cool, make a video. And when they call and ask a question, I go, dude, great question. I actually made a video on that. I'm going to send it to you. I'm running it to a meeting.
A VSL, like a virtual sales letter, and just send it their way? Or?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, dude, I'd fucking have it on my cell phone and upload it to YouTube, and I'd send them a link. Oh, okay. I wasn't that deep, dude.
Yeah.
Again, I'm older, and this was 10 years ago.
Okay.
Things were slightly different. I don't even know what VSL means, to be honest. So, I uploaded it to YouTube and texted it, dude.
Yeah, same thing.
So, great. So, I create one video. I'm like, oh, I get this question all the time now. All right, let me make a new video. Shit, what do you do with final expense? Here's what I do. When they say this, what do you say? Or this subject, they say I want to think about it, or they say my kids will figure it out, or you know what I mean, all the things. I'm like, well, damn. So every question I started getting, I'm like, let me create content on that. Hell, we still do it. A lot of the feedback of you join anything of mine, we ask questions, and those questions dictate a lot of the stuff he has me record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a model that's worked really well for me. Is how do I make what I'm doing more efficient? First, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to make it more efficient. So I started creating content to do a lot of the training. And I was like, all right, well, that's one step. Well, I guess I need a weekly training call, too. So I had a weekly training call, but, not everyone got on or timing wasn't right. So that's where the content helped a lot. So then, as we started getting better, I'm like, oh, shit, now I got fucking 27 links for different videos. Yeah. Where the hell's the video? And I'm asking, man, I'm like, where's the link for the video? So then she made a page. And then she's like, oh, let's make a web page. Here's all John's training shit. We made a little page. You know what I mean? And we continue to improve on those little things. I was always trying to solve current problems to be more
Yeah.
efficient.
Right.
You know, I was never the guy that was going to build everything out from step 1 to step 50. You know what I mean? I'm like, let me solve this problem. And everything we still do today is like, all right, we have a problem. How do we solve it? Hey, we got this. How do it's every damn office.
Yeah.
Hey, this didn't go. They didn't get this email. This messed up. Anyway, we look at it and go, how do we fix that? How do we make it better? How do we make it smoother, cleaner, feel better for people? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that, it just, 100%. Yeah. So it was a combination of teaching people how to get paid, dude.
Yep.
That's what keeps people. If you can't help people get paid, they'll quit you.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm direct. Not everyone loves it, and especially early. I didn't know how to articulate it quite the right way. Dude, there's a lot of people that didn't like me and didn't quit because I could teach them to get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to for my guys in there too.
So all the focus was on how do I get them paid
Yeah.
without me losing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I need help with. I'm like, yo, I'm in the middle of setting appointments. I ain't taking that call. I got you. Call me at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I'll be ready.
Right.
6 a.m. That's early. I mean, you know what we do?
Yeah.
I'm selling. Hey, can we talk? I got a question about appointments. Yeah, dude, my last appointment's at 9:30. Dude, call me like 10:30. I'll be driving home. Wait, what? I mean, you want to learn the business or not? And it taught people to respect what I did, which taught them they now had to be disciplined.
Yep.
That makes sense? Someone calls me and we're on a training call. I'm like, no, I'm on the call. Why are you not on this call? I don't see him on the training calls, and they ask me a question. I'm like, yo, we answered that on the call Thursday. Why weren't you on? Right? Like, you don't take this serious. You don't even get on the fucking call.
Right. Right.
You know, that's why I had to teach the discipline. What will be more impactful is when you want to explain something to someone, bite your tongue, and think of a question that helps them discover that. Early on, when I first started learning it, I'm like, all right, so he's this. What the hell? How can I set him up? And I'd sit back and like literally process it. And I'd go into it and be like, all right, let me try that. Hey, and I'd start asking questions. And like, God, he didn't pick it up. All right, let me tweak the way. It's just like sales, dude.
Right.
The same way you do with clients.
Yeah.
I'm treating the agent the same way, dude. What's the psychology of getting them to go down the path I want? And get the message I want them to hear. And now the crazy thing is every person is different.
Yeah.
I gotta get to know you. I gotta get to know you. And y'all could be very different. And maybe you hate. I had a guy one time tell me, dude, like, he goes, hey, he stopped me. He's like, hey, dude, are you about to tell me to stop being a little bitch? I was like, yeah, why? He goes, can you just skip the stories and tell me? I'm like, yeah, 100%, dude. You're my favorite kind of guy.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, I was like, yo, you're doing it again. Stop me. And he loved it. Where some people, if I say that, they melt.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So remember when you were in second grade, and I gotta tell us, hey, you did really good. I want them because they want to sell. They want to help. They want to. Those agents we have, I used to not want those.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, that's weak of me. So how can I become more dynamic as a communicator, leader? You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I'm gonna learn that. So I started studying it. I started reading and understanding like personalities and tests and leadership stuff and how to communicate. I mean, I started studying the shit out of it.
So what did you read to help you understand that better?
My favorite book ever about this stuff is John Maxwell. You ever read him?
Yep.
5 levels of leadership.
Okay.
By far the best book I've ever read on leadership in general.
5 levels of leadership.
It will teach you how other people look at you, which is very different than most. Most people are like, how do you lead people? His is like, how do they view you as a leader?
Right.
And how to treat them each different. And how to influence. It's a levels 1 through 5. And he teaches you how to influence those levels and manipulate it.
Yeah.
So like, you look at me a certain way because of whatever you believe I've done or whatever. You know the guy outside doesn't give 2 shits.
Right.
Like, at all. Does that make sense?
Correct. Yeah.
When I go home and I like go to the gym, there ain't nobody sitting around asking me questions. No one gives a shit.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you view me different.
Right.
So it taught me that. You know, and I used to try to treat everybody the same. Now I had to go, all right, where am I on their scale? And let me treat them accordingly. And how do I move them up? You know what I mean? And there's ways to do that.
Yeah. Just like you did today. You know.
100%.
Right. Like I saw you walking by, obviously.
Yeah.
And I had no idea who you were. Right. Until you went up there today and you gave your story.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that helped.
Yeah.
What Cody said helped. Jalen, I mean, 15 people mentioned my name up there.
Right.
I certainly were people who were like, who's John? And they go up and I'm sitting here in a fucking t-shirt and hoodie.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, that's that dipshit sitting back there.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what I mean? So it's there's a lot of intentionality behind it, dude. And I started studying personalities, like personality tests, whether you do colors or fucking, A type, the disc profiles, all that stuff.
Personality types.
I used to think we were all the same.
Yeah.
I was so ignorant, dude. I didn't understand how different people were. I had no idea.
Once they sign up, they're locked in for the most part.
And I'm like,
I'll say they have at least.
I'm gonna figure this game out. When I understood that communication could influence, just like say, I learned it in sales side first. If I say the right things in the right order, the right questions, I can literally control the way they perform, behave, think, speak. I can control their demeanor. You know what I mean? I can control them from getting mad or not getting mad. Like I feel like it's like a magic power, dude.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we have that in the sales side, and most people turn that off on the business side. You understand in sales, I got to be dynamic and shift and move, and then you get with agents, and we treat them all the same. I'm like, not bringing that skill set with us.
Right.
It's slightly different, but the same concept.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
How big is your team now?
We did like agent size.
Agent size, yeah.
We had like 5,000 agents sell a policy last year.
Okay.
And we have about
scaled.
Yeah, we have about 1,800 a month sell.
Okay.
Obviously, people still quit like crazy.
Right. Yeah.
So
we have like a recruiting funnel and everything in place.
We have everything possible. Yeah, and if you need any of that, we can certainly connect. I do a lot of teaching. Yeah, we have stuff. People can buy our system. We have recruiting. I haven't engaged anything. I mean, I've taught this to shit.
And how many managers do you have?
Dude, hundreds. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, dude. I come to these events. There's probably someone in my group here that I don't even know.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I have managers in my group like killing it, doing big things, and I've never met them. That set the stage. It's so big. You know what I mean? It's the fact so many people contribute to
that's incredible.
At the stage. So it's.
And how long did it take you to build your business to this level?
I mean, I've been in the business 10 years. I got licensed 2010. I really started actively selling in 2012. I didn't really do shit until 2015. So really 10 years.
I sell that.
2015, I had nothing. I was in the business, but I had there was nothing. We had nothing. So 10 years.
Yeah, that's where I see myself now with nothing.
And I'll be honest, I was making 7 figures in 2717. Kind of put a few things together. I was like, oh shit. And I went from making nothing to fucking.
So I'm trying to do these two guys, try to make them killers, 3-man kill team, and then hiring a kill squad. You know what I mean?
Doing insurance just because somebody said you can do that.
Yeah, and then I'll reach out to you for those recruiting systems and stuff.
Yeah,
possible.
we have all of it. We can just set up a Zoom call or something like that, and we go through stuff. So
You're
generating leads yourself too.
Yeah, I have my own
distributing them out.
I have 3 campaigns going. I'm going to increase the
get them out to everyone.
So right now it's just 3 of us. So we just have them all in a Google Doc. I have mine go straight into a CRM that nurture the leads. So I wake up, I have appointments lined up for me every single day. So like today, I had a bunch of appointments, tossed them all at my guys. I was like, hey, I'm going to be at this event. You guys can run these appointments for me. Let my clients know.
They are buying leads stuff?
They're not. So one was, his leads, he wasn't able to convert them. He was converting my old age leads. And then he was like, dude, let me just.
So then you guys are buying your leads? Yeah.
No.
Got it.
Yeah, so I'm keeping, we split on 50-50 now. So they're selling my leads, I keep 50% commission. So while I'm here, there's still something coming in, which is smart.
Yeah, we built out a whole system. I have some people in my consulting business that I help in the industry that have scaled their business to really provide a lot of lead stages.
Yeah.
And we built a whole system to distribute them out and keep up with payments and lead credits and round robin and states and all that
stuff. So what is that system called? You have
is it your own
proprietary system?
Yeah, I have. Yep. I used to use like Go High Level and some other stuff, Zapier or things like that, but I have 2 developers on staff, so we built a custom.
Okay. We have a guy right now, Dylan Eddie. He's working on building his own proprietary systems too. So him and his team are great with Go High Level, but
it's limited.
It's limited, right? When they're trying to get a hold of the team or they have some bug issues, and they're like, all right, we're gonna pivot. We're gonna build our own systems for you guys, and so we're just waiting. Everything takes a little time, honestly, but once we get that, that'll be.
Love it.
It's cool. Keep building. Break by break.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good meeting you, man. Pleasure, dude.
Like I want to recruit and then also like produce at the same time. And so I know I can reach out to friends and whatnot. I guess I'm just thinking too far ahead. Like how would you go?
100%. Yeah. So I'll give you a general concept that I've used for everything, any person I've ever hired. I'm a big proponent of doing the work first. Like every piece of my business I've touched.
Independent, but you know,
so like for example, at some point, not currently, because I don't know half the shit that happens now. But especially early, I did everything. So I recruited, I got them started, I did all the bullshit work, whatever. And then what I like to do is I keep track of things I do that take my time, and then I make a list of the shit I don't want to do. Like I just want to stop doing this. And eventually I have a list, and that became like her job description. Her first job description was the shit I was tired of doing, right? And then even like we did social. There was a point I'm fucking uploading videos to YouTube. I'm trying to record. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, dude. And I'm like, can we hire someone? And then eventually Reese took that job. You know, I used to do contracts. Someone took that job. Every piece I've done, I've always been like, here's all the shit I don't want. Like my job, I want to show up and talk. That's what I do really well. I can teach. I know how to do this thing. I can promote. I can do video content. Like that's why I'm the shop. And like visionary idea stuff. Like let's do this. I'm good. Everything else, I'm like, can I hire for that? But I had to start off small. You know. So my suggestion is figure out where you spend your time, and then go. Here's the things I want to get rid of. And I even personally, she does half of my personal shit too. You know, she pays all my bills. She just fucking. I don't even open my mail. I'm like, just drop it on her desk. Someone fucking does it. You know what I mean? She runs my whole operation now, but it's like make a list of all the stuff you do. Go, here's what I want to hire someone to do. And that's their first job, and that will change. Her job's changed 800 times in 8 years. So the list kept getting bigger, and then eventually I'm like, well, shit, she doesn't want to keep doing that. Why don't we hire someone to do that shit so she can do something else? You know what I mean? It's a really simple concept, but I still use it to this day. I got notes on my phone. I'm like, get rid of it.
When you were first starting out, like your schedule, I'm pretty sure like you didn't get like that much sleep or whatnot. Like what was that like? And like, yeah.
Dude, I had to figure out how to make it happen, dude. So when I first started, I did get a lot of sleep because I sucked and half-assed this thing and I made no money. But when it started turning, better? I don't know what's happening. Sometimes I assume I know what they're talking about. I don't. No.
So then I've got all those lines.
Is it? We got good. No, you're good. He's got good lighting apparently.
I gotta get like one picture.
Yeah, dude. I mean, once I figured out that I wanted to be like, I wanted to make fuck you money. I didn't just want to make a couple bucks. You know, and I saw other people doing it, and they were working a lot. And
yeah, so it's
that. Prior to that, man, everyone told me I had to learn all this shit. And not that you don't have to learn stuff, but it was like, you need the magic lead, you need this system, all this stuff. And I just had a couple dudes that were like, yeah, you know, if you just go hustle, you can make X. I don't need no system. But you can literally give me fucking names and my cell phone, and I'll print money. I don't need any of this other noise. You know, like in the industry, think about this. I don't know. Y'all heard of Primerica? Yeah. I mean, that company was built, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 years ago, whatever it is. It's old. With no technology, no phones, no leads, no computers, no cell phones, no nothing. And they're a multi-billion-dollar public company. You know what I mean? So when someone was like, oh, just see this many people, and here's how the math works, I was like, why didn't someone tell me this sooner? So yeah, I worked on it, and I wanted to build. And I didn't want my personal production to get hit. So I was selling $40K a month, and I was building and recruiting. I didn't have any staff, and I was recruiting all over the country. So I'm 5 a.m. I'm up. Dude, I wasn't going to sleep sometimes till 1, 2 in the morning. Not every day, but especially when I was in the days I was selling. You know, you don't have such an advantage today with the technology. It makes a lot of it easier. Dude, I get home from a 12-hour day in the field, I got to salute fucking fax 12 apps in. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm pitching in for like there's auto mentor, like a thing where they have like group interviews, and then, like we've been delegating agents to each team, and so just trying to like keep up with like producing myself because I've just started and like trying to learn, and then also like reaching out to people that are underneath me. And so,
yeah, it's a lot, dude. And it's going to continue to be a lot, especially when a lot of them quit on you. You know, even today, 3/4 quit within the first year. It doesn't change. And I was telling them we had like 5,000 riders last year. Like got paid. We only have like 1,800 a month. You know? So literally 2/3 out already. So there's always continue to out hire that, not get too emotional about it. Just like try to find good people and help people get paid. So you can learn how to make a bunch of money selling, which is relatively easy. You know what I mean? You can figure it out. It's not that deep. Buildings and teaching others is a little deeper. You know what I mean? But if you can help people make money, and it's easy to teach people to make money. You know how to do it. You know what I mean? So for me, I can teach anyone to make money.
What social media do you use the most? Like to keep update with yourself, like the marathon and all that. That's super there.
Oh, like where do I post stuff the most?
Yeah.
Oh, we're everywhere. Instagram, yeah, it's probably the best one. But so he does all. He asked where do we put the most stuff? YouTube. There you go. My personal stuff though is going to be more Instagram. The marathons, all the crazy shit I do. That's the only thing I post is like my stories. Some of that's mine. Everything else he records and he edits and he posts. Yeah, I don't even know what goes out when. They do all that. I just talk. Like this, so you'll probably be on fucking YouTube soon.
We ran in college and high school for a little bit. So
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I've never done it. Yeah. I just sounded hard and I'm like, I don't know. If you saw me run, you'd be like, really? But I'm going to finish. I ain't trying to win it. I'm going to just finish it. You know? So, but to get ready, it takes a lot of running. So now, right now, they got... So my plan is not to run the marathon at all. I'm literally going to finish. But I've done... I use this little app. I just hired a trainer to help. He's got me running a 1 minute mile every day. Not a 1 mile every day in timing it. But like this, this is January, so I'm at 76 miles.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad at all. It's more than like people run. Like,
yeah, it's more than most humans.
Yeah.
So I'm not the best runner, but shit, I run more than most people. So it is what it is. Now I was in one this past weekend. It was like 11 miles and it was uphill. It was like 3,500 feet high elevation in North Georgia mountains. And I finished at the same time as a 78-year-old dude, so I wasn't fast. But there was only 60 people that did it. You know what I mean? Now this cat ran like 50 marathons last year, so he was like an anomaly. You know, but like most people wouldn't even do it. You know, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, well, thank you
Makes
so
sense?
much.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. Really good.
Y'all have a good one.